Hello everyone, welcome to another episode of the MTG Arena Run. Today we're going to continue where we left off. I promised another retrospective of Kaladesh block. So last time we took a look at Improvise, we took a look at Energy. Now we're going to take a look at a few other mechanics, primarily Fabricate and Revolt. If ever there's plenty of time, I might mix this up to get something working, but I'm more likely to just push forward with Amonkhet. But without further ado, let's take a look at what we're going to run. Basically, I'm running three color decks so we can get the most out of it. I did make a 2-color version of this. I was missing a bit of removal. Actually, now that you mention it, there is some removal I could use also. Let's see. Yahini's Expertise. Do I have a copy of that? Probably should have a copy. Yeah, I have 2 copies of that. Basically, it's a sweeper. The only bad side to this... Well, the only downside to this is... If I run this guy, it basically goes counter with what I'm doing. So, this might not be the deck for that. Anyways, let's go take a look at what we do have. Basically, it's a package that focuses mostly on Revolt. So, Narnam Renegade, decent Revolt creature. Also quite decent in its own right. Unbridled Growth, Revolt Enabler, and a very good way to get the mana that we need. Countless Gears Renegade. 3 copies might be a bit too much, but sometimes it comes down as sometimes it's 2 bodies for the price of 2 mana, not bad. A lot of these creatures are going to die, so Scrap Heap Scrounger does fit in here. Green Wheel Liberator. Basically, I would have subbed these with more of these if I had them. Cog Workers Puzzle, not also another enabler. Basically, we do have a lot of artifact synergies here as well. Master Trinketeer, quite helpful with all the servos we're going to be making. We're not exactly into top tiers, but it's okay. Basically, it's an extra copy of Chief of the Foundry. We do have a single copy of Yahini because we do need a way to enable Revolt. Rishkar, just there for the counters. Also a good way to accelerate into mana. We do have a few expensive items. Renegade Rallier, this is the engine we want to run. We do have a lot of creatures on this slot, so buying them back is perfectly fine. 2 copies of Decommission. I just realized that this block had no artifact enchantment removal on a body in green. Green's effects were all spell based. White, I think it had no. Most of the artifact removal was primarily red. Green had enchantment removal. So this one's really just a concession. Well, it also had Revolt, so it's still on team. Have a very light Fabricate team. Pima Outrider helps out in a pinch. Cultivator of Blades also quite good. Our Fabricate is pretty much on the high end. We're relying on Revolt on the lower end, and we do have a few interesting things, but primarily Fatal Push, Blossoming Defense, and that's pretty much about it. So we're not exactly removal heavy, but we are Revolt heavy. So we're basically trying to see if the mechanic had any promise. Personally, it was more of a win more mechanic in a sense. You got more as you got into it. It wasn't perfect, and the problem is there weren't that many cheap enablers that you exactly wanted to run for the card slots you're spending, and there probably was just better stuff overall. So we're gonna do a quick constructed with this one. There was a little modicum of success with this deck, not too much, so we might be able to finish this. We might be able to finish this one relatively quickly. Not in a good way for me, but we'll see. There's also the issue that lately the meta has been all banned. It's all been about Nexus of Fate. Probably a very good time to get your copies of Lost Legacy. Oh wait, it's almost about to go, so that's probably not gonna happen. So this one's an interesting hand. Do I want to... I could just keep this just for the Scrap Heap Scroungers. It just looks kind of weird. But after I play the Scrap Heap Scroungers, if I don't draw into either of my colors, preferably white, but if I don't draw into them, this is not going to go well for me. I might just keep this anyway. What the heck. Our opponent has to answer these anyway, so something we could just run with. We did get one color, so not bad. Oh yeah, I didn't say... Oh yeah, our mana base is just check land, bunch of check lands, and... Bunch of check lands, and what is it? Oh yeah, Evolving Wilds. Yet another Revolt trigger. Also, it helps that Evolving Wilds still helps us way to thin the mana base, so I'll give it that. Okay, counter this. No counters. Now this is actually scary because if our opponent hits 4 mana, well, at least we know this is so we could expect a Settle the Wreckage. But it does enable our stuff, so maybe not too bad. I might just actually have to go for it. Sure, I lose my beaters, but I do need the mana. Show me Settle. No Settle. So show me Glimmer of Genius. There you go. So we're able to get some beatdown on our opponent, but we should expect something soon. Fumigate is probably the reasonable effect now. I'm still shy of either 1 mana, but preferably 1 white mana. Now the nice thing about Revolt is that the permanent just has to leave the battlefield. He bounces it, I get the trigger. Okay, well, I'm not gonna get the trigger now, but then at least I could just buy these back. In fact, I could just buy one to get the other one. Okay, and we did get our white mana, so going to combat. And we're just gonna cast a Pima Outrider. The least committal of the cards that we have. Probably just make a servo as well. Reason for making a servo, you could throw it away. Basically, it's a cheap Revolt trigger. If this guy dies, I still have something. Opponent's representing 3 mana.
I know my responsibility. Hold that
so I do have to slam everything onto Teferi. Okay, now we're getting our mana. So we'll see what he has. Oh, he didn't have anything.
No more game. I won't let you win.
So I'm just gonna cast Nissa into a counter spell. Have to get it out eventually. It's a shame you know when it's coming, but you still have to act on it. Opponent could have a second Fumigate. But at least we could just buy the Scrap Heap Scrounger in regular ways. So we were able to get our opponent at half and power through some threats. Search for a Skanta, so he's gonna start digging. He probably has a Castaway effect, which is kinda okay. We don't have anything to buy back, so it's probably just gonna be Countless Gears Renegade if ever. Three, 6. Just gonna send these 2 guys. The reason is if he does have a sweep, well, there is a slight difference, but I'm probably gonna need multiple creatures anyway. Opponent's not giving us much, So I'm not going to give him much, because if he's going to try to just buy back life with Fumigate, I'm not going to put more bodies on the board. He is digging for it. It's also reasonable that he is just going to play an approach of the second sun. Well, he ditched the Glacial Fortress there. So if he plays approach, we will have a race on our hands. But I still cannot just overcommit. We can just attack with all of these. It wipes the approach part. So opponent's still thinking of something. Opponent definitely has to play something at this point. There you go. Fumigate as predicted. So he gains some life, but not too much on our expense. And then we buy back the Scrap Heap Scrounger. I'm getting a bunch of messages. It's been raining lately, so a lot of emergency messages. Okay, so we got Unbridled Growth, so we do have a trigger now. But I'm going to attack first anyway. He doesn't have a bounce effect on that. So I'm gonna play the Unbridled Growth on my other land. Basically, I'm going to wait it out a little bit. I could just play one guy now, but if ever it's just gonna be the Countless Gears Renegade, you know what? I'll just play him. I'll just play it as it is. No extra body. See if our opponent's not gonna try to counter it, so he's gonna try to go for the long burn. He's also probably suspicious why I didn't bother with that trigger. So that's perfectly fine, because that destroys it. Now I just have to get one of these guys to, one of my own guys to die. Shouldn't be too hard. But right now our opponent got this extra land, but he's gotta have something. Right now our fatal pushes are kind of dead. Playing another Teferi.
Let's slow this
I also have to assume that he has Torrential Gear Hulks on standby.
We need to move quickly.
But anyway, I'm going to aim for his face right now. So he's got more than enough mana. Okay, my turn. So no real response. I could just cast Chief of the Foundry. No, let's just attack him first. He's got to respond with something at this point. It's very well disciplined if he's just taking it as it is. Now our fatal pushes are not going to... Oh, he's actually just going to take it? So... we do have a Scrap Heap Scrounger. I'm going to play the Chief of the Foundry. Just to have something on the board. I'm going to end the turn there. Now our opponent has to answer both these threats. Not impossible. He has played 2 Fumigates already. He could just be holding on to a third. Third. Hopefully I can get enough... Okay, he's going to go Vraska's Contempt. He's going to use that to gain life. So, if he wants to spend a counter spell just to gain 2 life, I'm all for it. There, he actually did. So he gets to draw a card. He's probably going to draw an additional card with Search for Ascanta. Or with... yeah, it's going to go for Search. He can search an arch, so another Vraska's Contempt. We are going to lose. So we're going to lose most of our creatures. Actually, it returns a permanent, so we have that going for us. So he's gonna cast something. Vraska's Contempt. That's okay. He gains life, but now we start piling the triggers. So Narnam Renegade first. Let's hope this last card's not a Fumigate, or else we're in real trouble. And then let's go all. Okay, this is very greedy. Basically, I'm just dumping everything out. At least I could draw a card if I have to. But right now, our opponent's gonna get himself to 8 life. Definitely gonna answer Scrap Heap Scrounger. It'll take us a while to beat through our opponent's life total, especially if he gets up to 8. In theory, this game should be lost for us, but let's see. If he draws another Fumigate, yeah, that we're definitely lost. Okay, Seal Away. It's not a Fumigate. And he does have to hold up for that. So he's waiting on it a little bit. Yeah. Okay, my turn. Yeah, we were fast. We were just not fast enough. Marionette Master would have been really nice. So let's say I attack. I will get only 5 damage true at most. Actually, no. I'll only get 2 damage true. Let's see what we get. If it's another land, it's... Oh, it's not another land. So... let's see what we... Let's... Now, this is our time to see if our opponent does have the Settle the Wreckage in hand. He's gonna seal... He did have the Settle. Yuck. Yeah, let's just search for basic land. Just get them out of the way. Be careful how I click them, but... yeah... that's it. That's it. Very well timed. So... no need to prolong this. He will eventually beat us down. So I'm just gonna concede right then and there. So we were very close, just not fast enough. Maybe if we were a little less timid, or we were a bit more aggressive in our casting, we might have gotten through. So we're gonna take a quick break first. We're gonna come back to this a little bit later, and so please stand by. And we're back. But we're okay. So 1 loss, not so great. We did do quite well, but eventually we weren't fast enough to beat the control deck. So let's see if we can get things better off in the next round. So much better. Turn 1, turn 2. We'll probably keep this. Hopefully we can draw into some of our other cards. Now, at least with Revolt, it's not quite A and B, because it's not quite an A and B mechanic. Your A can also be your B. Basically, if your Revolt creature leaves the battlefield, it does trigger Revolt for your other creatures. As it stands now, our first turn is definitely Unbridled Growth. Second turn, Evolving... no, not Evolving Wilds. We'll run the Puzzle Knot, so... yet another trigger. The Pima Outriders are probably the weakest part of this deck. Because we just basically need the big bodies, and I didn't want to spend 5 mana on pure Revolt. I think Thankfully, our opponent's a little bit is also a bit slow as well. Okay. We could use another mana source, but at least we got some creatures. Third turn, we can play Ovia, play an Evolving Wilds. Need to remember to keep passing the turn if I'm not ready to trigger Revolt. Alternately, we can just hold on to Ovia as long as possible. Depends on what our opponent drops at this point. Peck. Okay, so it's a dinosaurs deck. We probably cannot just drop Ovia. We probably have to drop Ovia first. Well, okay, not ideal, but I do have to. I have two options. I can Fatal Push that guy now. I need the green mana eventually. I'm gonna Fatal Push this guy now. Reason is, that guy's gonna save a lot of mana over time. I just cannot afford it. Now this was great for me in that last draft, but it was also because I wasn't running pure heavy dinosaurs. I did have a few smaller ones. Yeah, 3 mana cost isn't exactly small, but still reasonable. And so our opponent's definitely going into the big dinosaur team. Okay. Target permanent with converted mana cost 2 or less, so we can actually get back the Evolving Wilds. So let's see if we offer the trade first. It's probably just gonna take the damage. He cannot afford to lose this guy, especially if he's accelerating to something big. So now we actually have to sacrifice the road. Okay. Play Renegade Rallier. I could get an Unbridled Growth again, but I think we need the land this time. So yeah, let's sacrifice that, get ourselves some black mana now. So our opponent can drop a big 5-drop. I don't think any of our guys can handle it on their own. Okay, maybe a big 4-drop. We'll see what comes down. If we could get another mana, Cultivator of Blades might be interesting. The fact our opponent's not doing anything right now is also interesting. So let's offer the trade. I might actually just play the Ovia first. No need, especially if our opponent's taking his fine time. Something's really wrong. So just gonna play the Ovia right now. End the turn here. I'll crack the puzzle nut and crack the land. I might actually just get away with making artifact creatures. Opponent now has Regisaur Alpha. Okay, sure. So we're gonna take the 3 damage. Gonna crack the land. Crack the token. So we can now make... I could just play the Cultivator of Blades right now. My concern is that it's going to get... He might have a bunch of fight effects. That's pretty much the one thing that's going to end me right there. Then again, I really don't have much of a choice. I could play the Puzzle Knot, just make a small one. I could play Cultivator, make a bunch of small guys. Actually, I'm just gonna wait it out past the turn. I'm going to at least make a 4/4 first. I need something to tangle with these guys. Now, but it could be scary if our opponent is running Burning Sun's Avatar or Etali. That might be a problem. Okay, Again, more tap lands. Forerunner. Okay, we'll let that resolve. But he might have Polyraptor. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. He needs one more mana to get a Polyraptor loop. Nope, just ranging Raptor, so he doesn't have the Polyraptor combo, thank goodness. Let's see if he walks into it. Yeah, he walked into it. Okay, I'm not gonna comment on our opponent at this point, but I do have to start charging with this guy. Well, let's not be too hasty. He might still have a combat trick. So next turn. Okay, another Evolving Wilds. He's not gonna fall for that trick again, but I need to start buffing my guys now. So Cultivator of Blades is probably a good time to drop that. Let's send this big boy first. So let's drop the Cultivator. Okay, this one's probably too greedy. I might be better off just going sideways. Yeah, let's just go sideways instead. Because if our opponent has a removal, I sincerely doubt our opponent doesn't have a removal effect. Could be wrong, but okay, I think I just made a mistake. I should have played the big one first. Yeah, I forgot all about that. So I lose all these guys. Yeah, I did not think it through. Let's see if he actually, if he has another dinosaur, it wipes out this board. And that's a very careless mistake. Okay, okay, not quite that. So I need to start rebuilding with these guys now. Yeah, that was a mistake. That's a severe misplay. I did not. But I am going to trade for the Regisaur, so at least I don't have to worry about haste anymore. I can... Okay. So put a +1/+1 counter, end the turn here. Actually, I should not have ended the turn. I probably should have killed the Drover, but let's see what our opponent has first. Yuck, he has the Polyraptor combo. And the tokens will have 8 mana, so... Yeah, I should have held this up. He actually had it in hand. So this one is not gonna go well for us. Actually, might not have got... But right now, it's going to be much worse than it already is. So he can afford to make a bunch. Yeah, we're not going to slip through this one anytime soon. We don't have the tools. Let's see if he decides to actually wipe his entire board. Oh, he is going for it. Oh, no, he didn't go. Is he going for it? See. Well, at least we got rid of the Regisaur, so no haste. He was never going to attack with this one. So, careless mistake on our end. Cost us the game. If we still had the Cultivator available, alive, that would have been something. Okay, he's just gone for the wipe. Yeah. Yeah. I thought he didn't have the combo because he didn't search it up. Turns out he already had it. So we're not going to win this game. Not with this guy. Yeah, we have no way of getting through here. Yeah, that's a good game. Just cast this one. Then I can concede from here. So that was not a great playing for us. If you're not used to a deck, you are going to make mistakes. If you're not used to what your opponent's cards does, you are also going to make mistakes. So this might be a really fast episode. Wow, it's going to be really fast. I might make a few tweaks to this one, then just run it again. Why the heck not? I might also just try testing out something else. We'll see. So now, because these are much retrospectives, I wouldn't exactly call these very serious decks. I'm also thinking I might actually just migrate from deck stats at this point. I might move on to another deck building site. I do get decent number of views in deck stats. At least I think I do. The problem I personally have is just more like there's very little interaction. Yes, I get. Yes, there are people who view. A few people like it and whatnot, but very few people who actually comment. That's the part that I'm. Ooh. Now this is an interesting deck I've seen. What it basically does is you play it takes advantage of the energy loop, especially with creatures like Glintsleeve Siphoner. So what will happen is you spend 2 energy, you will lose a life and draw a card. When you lose a life, you get the energy back. So he's not in danger of running out of cards anytime soon. We're not gonna play it in that angle. Ooh, but this is interesting. Opponent is going to. So he's gonna go for the long game in that sense. Okay, we got all our colors, sort of. So I probably should just play the forest so I could have double blossoming defense. Anyway, we're just gonna try to beat our opponent down as fast as possible. So he's basically throwing his creatures away. Though I'm surprised he did that. He might as well just. He could have prevented more damage this way. Something must be up. Let's see what he has. Conti's Machinations again. So we're basically trying to erase all the energy this guy's gonna gain. And all the life he's likewise gonna gain as well. Now, if he has a burn spell, I might actually just let the Scrap Heap Scrounger die. I'll save the Blossoming Defense for my Pima Outrider. Let's take. Okay, so he's just. So he's going straight for my life total. He's not even bothering to build up an energy bank. Okay, so we will charge with everyone. Let's see what burn spell he has. I might actually just play Pima Outrider. Okay, no burn spell. So I'll play the Pima Outrider. And considering he might have a Lightning Strike, I'm not going to. I'm going to just give it a 1/1. Actually, if this is his only chance now to burn it. Okay, he's not taking that chance. So he might not have the Lightning Strike or the. Well, Abrade he would have used it here anyway. Oh, a nice Disintegration. At least I didn't lose life that way. Now, we don't have anything to buy back, so I might as well just play the Renegade Rallier now. Basically, let's try to get as much gas out as possible. We can defend some of our creatures, but we might have to figure out when's the best time to defend. If it's just Scrap Heap Scrounger he takes out, I'm perfectly fine with it. He's probably going to take the Rallier first. He probably kept a burn heavy hand if he's looking at my creatures more than his own hand. Yeah, we're never gonna see a spell like Blossoming Defense in a long time. This one is way too good. So we're gonna miss this spell. Okay. So at least, so we also know our opponent's having mana troubles. Play Master Trinket here. Thankfully, it leaves up both Fatal Push and Blossoming Defense mana. Opponent has to play something big at this point. Or multiple creatures. Lightning Strike, he's going for my face. Well, I can't Blossoming Defense myself. I'm surprised he didn't go for one of my creatures, though it's possible because taking one out is not enough. He needs to have a anti-blocker tech. Okay, he's extending the good game. Yep. So he probably got stalled out on mana. Or he drew too many lands. It could be either one of those. So at least it's not too embarrassing. We did get one win. Though honestly, the second game, that was a lot more embarrassing. I was talking about how our opponent walked into that last one. We ended up walking to one of his onboard tricks as well. So in a way, it's not about who not making mistakes, but it's about trying to make as few mistakes as possible. Everyone says that, oh, why can't we have more board complexity? Magic's so easy and all. No, don't assume that Magic's easy just because. Even in this format, because this is a... Okay, so right now I'm definitely not keeping this. We got no action until turn 4 or turn 5. Okay, this one's better. Keeping this one. Keeping that on top. So, just because, especially here, this is computerized. All the information is supposed to be available in front of you. But that doesn't exactly make it easier to process. In fact, with all the information that Magic has, it might actually make it so much harder. So we definitely need to crack this 4 planes. We're gonna play the Renegade first. This one's okay. So if we can somehow get this guy to die, at least the Rallier did something. In fact, it's a nice trick. Countless Gears Renegade in your graveyard. Your Renegade Rallier that's with Revolt triggered gets it back. It has Revolt also, so it also triggers. It's a nice cascading synergy. So let's see. Okay, we definitely... Yeah, let's not make a mistake. We definitely need the white. Okay, we also got Chief of the Foundry, so we have that option too. So we're probably facing off against a mono black zombies deck. I hope our opponent doesn't... Well, the way he's looking at it, he's gonna kill it now. I would much prefer he didn't kill it right away. Sphere Harvester. Now, I could just let it die. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to just let it die, get the synergy. Sure, he gains 3 life out of it, but at least he gains 3 life out of this guy and not 3 life out of my face. Okay, so let that resolve. We'll let the block happen. So let's not forget, this is what we... Nice that they have a little symbol to show the revolt thing. Okay, so definitely getting the Renegade back. Definitely getting that back. The next turn, Chief of the Foundry, Chief of the Foundry. At least this little guy could get a little bit larger. this guy's definitely gonna die right now. It's just a matter of which kill spell he uses. Walk the plank. Okay, quite reasonable, especially when you consider that Merfolk is not... Oh, got the fatal push too. Okay. So we're down to one creature, but we can buff it at least. Oh, he's not gonna try to equip. Well, he didn't have to. It's not... There's no reason for him to. He'll just send in the clown. So we need mana. We need one more mana so we can hold up Blossoming Defense. Yahini's okay. But our opponent's creature is not about to die anytime soon, so I'm gonna play the Chief of the Foundry first. So we're gonna send the token in now. Actually, it's okay. I actually feel this is quite okay. If we got our opponent to spend all his removal on those threats rather than our much later threats, it's much better. Gifted Aetherborn. Vicious Conquistador. Okay, he's now unloading. He'll definitely attack with this guy. This guy gain life. I have a way to deal with this with the Aetherborn. Sort of. Yeah, if I can... Let's not give him that much gas. I could just attack Renegade Rallier into Countless Gears Renegade again. Or into Evolving Wild so I can get the land I actually need. Have to think this one through. Whenever a creature an opponent control dies, so I could just play Yahini first. No, let's get the land that we actually need. So he's gonna gain a lot of life off this. I can't do anything. Oh, he is okay. He's suspicious, so I can't do this trick. I can do this trick though. Or let's do this. Well, they're practically the same. And I do need something that can trade with the Gifted Aetherborn, so I'm gonna do that first. So at least we have a bunch of things we can play. It looks like our opponent is just as stalled as we are. He probably should be using the energy if he has nothing else to use it on. So I'm actually willing to trade these off first. But no, he's showing that he has a possible trick. Can't be Fatal Push though. Supernatural Stamina. Okay, so it dies and it comes back. Okay, that's aggro for you. So at least he's running out of tricks, but I am running out of cards. Yahini gains indestructible. I might have to do just that. I might have to hold everyone back at this point. So it's very possible we're going to run into an ignoble end, considering we're mostly creatures and not that many threats. I couldn't even get the extra mana I need for the threat. So we're going to take 3, 4, 5. I could do a... Okay. It's relatively cheap, so I'm going to lose 1 life here. I have to figure out my block so I can get rid of this Aetherborn. It's no point getting... So he's gonna finally start spending. He could have spent that out. So let's see, how do we block? So This only makes it indestructible, but it has to kill something. So, resolve. So, I have to block Scrap Heap and Aetherborn. So that way I only take 4. Now his last card could just spell the end of us right there, but okay, so let's go to blocks. Yeah, we're gonna sacrifice that so he doesn't gain life. And I need to trade with the Scrounger so to at least put a +1/+1 counter on it. The Conquistador might have been a safer bet. But I'm probably gonna lose this. I have no way out of this one. I have no way out of these down here. And we finally drew the 4th land that we needed so much earlier. So our opponent, yeah, so we were not doing well with this one. In hindsight, we probably should have gotten the Evolving Wilds. Having that extra land earlier would have done wonders for us. So no fault on Kaladesh on its own. Perhaps if it wasn't so overshadowed by other things, it wouldn't have been so, how do you say this? If it hadn't been so overshadowed by everything else, we might have been more used to stacking the triggers, getting them to work and whatnot. Now, I don't know why our opponent's timing out. Technically, he's won this game already. Again, sometimes these things are quite weird. It's quite possible that our opponent simply had to disconnect or something. Things like this happen. It's the internet. Don't know exactly what's going on, but I'm gonna stick this out a little bit. Of course, I know we practically lost, but at the very least, if someone is gonna win, make them work for it, I guess. There's sometimes I'm more than willing to just concede, but not this time. I'm gonna pass. He can respond. Actually, he could respond with this, so that's probably why he's timing out. So we had no answer for... So, probably in the grander scheme of things, maybe less of the larger creatures. There is the Silkweaver, the Revolt Spider that draws you a card. That would probably be just as great too. Something I might put in the sideboard actually. It's kind of strange, but then again, Kaladesh was an artifact set. No surprise that you're not gonna get value creatures that. You're not gonna get any value creatures that comes into play, destroy target artifact or enchantment in green. It's probably in red. Actually, no. I think in red it was also spell effects. No. Yeah, I think our opponent might have disconnected. So this is. Huh? If we somehow get out of this, there is a reprieve. It's a little reprieve for us. We get to see at least one more game, but yeah, technically this should have been our opponent's win. Yeah, this sounds like a really bad disconnect. Gonna see a bunch of complaints at this on the web again. But that is the point. If we have problems like this, we have to bring it up. That's the point of having a beta. Especially if we're going to... Right now, we're just on PC. And we're already getting a bunch of issues. Imagine if we start taking into account other platforms. Now, it's only a matter of time before we do get the other platforms in. But some people are asking, why can't we just get all the platforms out all at once? And to that I would probably respond, let's take a look at PUBG. Okay, we got 2 lands. We got a bunch of effects. We could use 1 more land. Our opponent goes first though, so this might be okay. I'm gonna keep this. So yeah, let's take a look at PUBG for example. They put out all the other ports. Basically, it is free. Well, this is also free to play, but they're aiming for the cash grab thing. So, and because of that, you can play it in many other places, but it feels kind of half-baked in a lot of them. So, at least I could block the Aetherborn. Probably gonna get a real game where I get royally destroyed. Okay, maybe not so. Let's see if our opponent's willing to trade. Let's see. Okay, he's not willing to trade, so no point dropping the Rallier. I will drop the Scrounger though. Basically, I'm gonna make it a race situation. If this guy is tapped out, it's quite okay too. Oh, straight vampires, and our opponent seems to be locked down. Okay, so he's still taking damage. I'm surprised he's not trying to trade up or trade out. So he probably has, yeah, he's probably just waiting on that one. Maverick Fane. So there's his game plan. So we're gonna take 1, 2, we're gonna take 3, and he's gonna get the token out. Oh, he's just. It's a bit weird though, considering I've just demonstrated my willingness to attack into your creature. So I have Blossoming Defense and a Renegade Rallier. So let's see how the trades work. He's gotta trade the Aetherborns. So he's taking 7. Okay. If that's your game, I can play Pima Outrider. And here I make a token. Our opponents might just be waiting to drop the Legion Lieutenant. That would make things a little bit harder. Not impossible for us though. Profane Procession, that's... Yeah, you should start... Personally, you should start blocking if that is what's happening. So we're about to hit Marionette Masterman. So combat, attack. 3, 6. If I attack with this one, it probably just gets eaten. Let's know we're thinking. Okay, let's say I can foresee a scenario where he just blocks one guy. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Yeah, you know what? I'll just attack with everyone. Let's see what he's got. He's definitely gonna have to throw away creatures now. Okay, he's throwing 2 for that. He's throwing 1 for that. He's gonna throw that one away. So, let's see. Gonna boost that so I can get rid of Maverick Fane. Then we can play Renegade Rallier and get back our... Let's get back the Evolving Wilds first. And the turn. So what we can do is... Okay, so our opponent is slightly stranded on mana. So we can just keep punching with these at least. Let's go and hold this back now. Well, that's also possible. So... Yeah, Yeah, we're starting to get some wins though. Okay. So at least we're getting more of a contest now. Though to be fair, I think the first 2 games were still probably the better ones. Yeah, sure I lost those games, but it, those are probably the more educational ones, or the ones that are more the ones that you're more likely to see. Now, it's also quite possible I might have dropped to bronze rank after those 2 battles, so maybe that's why I'm fighting all this. I honestly don't know. So I don't sure if I draw into more lands I can play Nissa at least. Okay, let's keep that. I'm definitely gonna play the Evolving Wilds a lot later. Ooh, life gain deck. Okay, so we'll play Ovia first. Ovia into Renegade. So I don't need to get the... So since our opponent is going for pure life gain, there should be an Aetherflux Reservoir sometime soon. So most likely... Okay, we might have to power up. So I'm not actually going to crack this yet. I'm going to drop the planes first, then crack this, then play the Countless Gears Renegade. Yeah, we really need to have we need to have an effect where I can right-click this one, auto-resolve all triggers, something to that effect. So I'm going to skip that. Play this one. Crack. We need another forest, so that's what we're gonna get. Play Countless Gears Renegade. Then attack with Ovia again. So basically, Ovia is just here to make sure the Fountain of Renewal doesn't go out of hand. Next turn, we can Pima Outrider. Next turn, after that, we can Vital Force. Opponent's got 4 mana. Okay, now our opponent has 4 mana after casting that. This could be an all artifact deck. Treasure map. This could be an improvised deck, but I would have expected to see some blue mana at this point. Now, so we got that one. It's also reasonable to assume our opponent might have Fumigate, so... But then Chief of the Foundry works well with this one. Let's not... I could just make another one of this, but I don't think... I think our opponent is more likely to have board wipes than targeted removal if his deck is like this. So... Paradox Engine... So he's going to generate a ton of mana. But let's see what he does with it. Revitalize. So he untaps that. Plays another land. He's going to cast another spell. But I need him to demonstrate his win condition. I suspect that win condition is just Aetherflux Reservoir. So I might... So he probably is using Fumigates and Settles to keep the board clear. So... But right now he's just gaining tons of life, but hasn't done anything with it. So... Yeah. Automatic Compass, so he's... Okay, so our opponent probably should... Yeah, probably should use this one. Oh, he's gonna use this to... He's gonna use this to lock down one of our targets, so maybe the Fumigate wasn't such... Maybe I shouldn't have been afraid of Fumigate. Probably will sacrifice this for a card soon. Got Sun Petal Grove. He's gonna start cracking these for cards, so can't be too...
The land shall conquer you.
Let's just use one of the forests. So you know he can hit for a bit, but we're not going to...
The land fights for us.
Okay, just gonna hit for a bit. Yet to see I'm expecting our opponent to draw into a Fumigate sometime soon. He can... So after his draw, he can sack this, and he can draw another card of this, so he'll definitely get 3 more cards. That's 1. Okay, so we play this land. Oh yeah, that reminds me, I do need to demonstrate how the... how it works, how to make properly change your land, change your basic land art. He's tapped his mana, but he didn't do anything with it. Draw a card, okay. Now he could use this to start tapping down. Well, it's kind of untapped stuff, I suppose. I do need to start drawing cards, so I might just +1 one more, then ultimate. I might not play the land at this rate. So our opponent's still gaining a ton of life. It's possible that this could be a mono-white approach of the second sun deck, where he gains a lot of life, so it doesn't matter how much you attack him. And he's sacking, and he's sacking. Oh wait, this is for 6. Cataclysmic Gear Hulk. No, I don't. His approach is 7. Something's up if he's casting only for 6. Let's see. So that's the nice thing about Magic. You may know all the... Definitely all the good cards are the ones that... Okay, he's undoing... Okay, he's undoing it. Something's not right with the math. Okay, 2, 4, 5, 6... Oh, because it was his combat phase. Fumigate. Okay. So we lose the land. Searches up another land. So we need to start producing a lot of small creatures, otherwise we're never gonna get through the Thaumatic Compass. So let's cast this one first. Untap a land. Let's do the plains this time. So we need to ultimate her next turn.
Be wary of the ground you walk on.
Okay, so kinda undid a few things, but not quite. Definitely need to start drawing into more cards. I'm still waiting for opponent to show a win condition. I'm not going to concede just yet until he shows it. Okay, so he's finally drawn the last of his cards. He's got 7 lands already, so he's definitely gonna get this guy up. He's got 5 mana. Seal away on the... Wait. Wait, I think I can respond to that. Okay. So he has to cast it first. Then he has to choose a target, which I can... Blossoming Defense. Okay, this one's weird though. So let's see if he has another one. No, he doesn't have it. Okay, so I managed to dodge 1 bullet there. Let's see if he has something else. He's now paying 8 mana. Sacrificing a card, so he's now at 5 mana. I think he's looking for another Fumigate. So he's cast all the spells, but he's still yet to demonstrate. Yeah, he hasn't demonstrated a win condition yet. Well, he's cracking that now, so he's probably digging for his approach. This is an interesting take. Definitely could use a few counter spells. So I need to get the emblem.
The land will help us find the
because
way.
I need to start drawing into cards. I wish I could have played that first, but let's play Chief of the Foundry. Then next turn, Evolving Wilds Crack, then Renegade Rallier. So we have that option at least. Okay. Play that. Yeah, I'm gonna keep drawing cards as much as we can. So, I'm gonna crack that. Let's get our swamp. Take action. I kind of wish I gained life, but that's more of Blue's effect. So I'm gonna play Renegade Rallier. Okay, now I have to choose. I'm probably gonna get Ovia because there you go. Combat, attack, Spires of Orazca. So we're gonna start playing this dance a bit. Our opponent has spent how many Fumigates? 2 Fumigates already. Should be a third coming soon. Oh, I haven't activated it? Okay.
Behold nature's true power.
I could have cast a Scrap Heap Scrounger. Let's leave that up first. Because our opponent does have targeted removal after all, just not that much. He's probably trying to announce that he has settled the wreckage too, so I have to be careful. So let's play the plains, draw a card. Okay. Let's cancel that first. Let's make a small servo. Let's cast Unbridled Growth on this one. Then I'll probably just attack with the red. Let's make a land. Let's not make. Sorry. Let's make a creature. Combat, attack. Send these 2 guys only. Let's see what our opponent's game is up to. So we got 1, 2, 3. Could cast this. No, I'm just gonna cast the Scrap Heap Scrounger. Kind of opening myself up to another Fumigate, but that's the price I have to. That's the price I have to pay to start pressuring our opponent to do something. Especially if he still keeps hold. Okay, he's got something. That's another Power Stone Shard. So he's got a lot of mana, but nothing to do with it. I need to double check. Did he? I think he cycled those cards. He would have still gained life from them. Oh wait, but he would not have gotten the untap, so he didn't. Okay. So that makes sense. So we got the Renegade again.
Rise, my elemental friend.
So time to send. Okay, now I know it's relatively safe, so I'm gonna send all the boys now. Okay. Yeah, that's. Let's not drop everything just yet. Because our opponent, all he needs to do is just draw into a Fumigate number 3 and we're in trouble. Now we need to attack with just enough. So take action, draw a card. Because he might be representing Settle now. So I'm just gonna go attack. Okay. Let's see if he has it. I actually don't mind losing lands here at this point. Hmm. 6, 7, 8, 9. Let's see if I can ruin his day a bit. Wait, did I just ruin it? Oh my, well, he never had to settle, so he gained a lot of life, but I do not know what his win condition is. I really still don't know. So we managed to luck out with that one. I'm betting the win conditions either an Aether Flux Reservoir or Approach of the Second Sun. Those are the only ones I can think of. I honestly didn't expect this one to go very far. I thought I would have lost it. Actually, could have lost it several games ago. So, but we're still getting more. We're still getting a little more action. Bunch of it kind of undeserved now that I think of it. So there is actually some. There's actually some life with synergy. Now, admittedly, as we've seen, it's not going to fare well against tier 1. I wouldn't say it wouldn't fare well against tier 1 deck, but it's really hard to say. You've only seen one match with a tier 1 deck. That was the blue-black one, and I did lose. Sure, I might have gotten some action in, but I still lost that one. So turn 1 Unbridled Growth. As depressing as it is, I may have to just do the turn 2 Countless Gears Renegade. Because if this is what I think it is, okay, no, this... Okay, maybe not. Oh! So this is our... Okay, maybe not quite Fabricate, but still something to be concerned with. So... I might have to wait. Yeah, let's just wait one turn. So next turn, Countless Gears Renegade, which we can kind of protect. But we have to note that we have no real removal against this. And our opponent is going to get to this one really quickly. So our turn 3 Countless Gears Renegade is going to match up against a turn 4 Angel of Invention. Okay, so let's just play more green mana right now. Let's crack this card. Okay, Evolving Wilds, so we do have it. Okay, pass the turn. I don't think our opponent's gonna... So we're gonna try to race with our opponent. Oh, no. He's gonna do Path of Discovery first. So I might have to hold the Blossoming Defense as a combat trick. So Unbridled Growth on... Okay, didn't matter. I wasn't gonna cast it anyway. I will get into combat first because it's gonna get hairy next time. Let's see, but 4-3 if he doesn't fabricate. If he fabricates, he's probably gonna fabricate. The purpose of this one is to get something non-creature on top. Okay, he's going with that one first. So I might not be able to trade anytime soon. Okay, I might still be able to trade. He's still not casting this one. I think he's trying to save it up for something. Nowhere else. Okay, he's still drawing into more lands, so we're kind of lucking out on that one. Just let's see if our luck's about to run dry. Well, it's got double explore. Okay, he's probably gonna ditch that. Now let's see what this next one is. Yeah, he's gonna ditch both of those. I could trade with it in combat. Okay. let's get the black mana now. Okay, got another trigger. So combat, attack. I'm just gonna attack with the renegade, see how he blocks. I would prefer he blocked it with either one. Either one of those is okay. He might actually just let it slip through. Okay, he's just gonna let it slip through. I'm fine with that. So I'm gonna end up trading Branch Walker with the servo. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I fabricate. I have to produce more servos. I could use more fatal pushes. I know I have at least 2 more if I'm not mistaken. Wow, opponent's going really greedy here. Well, but he's gonna get all that value out of it, so it's not too shabby. Okay, block. I don't like this trade, but I don't have much of a choice. Okay. So my turn, let's crack this one. Let's get ourselves another forest. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We now have the mana for Marionette Master. It's 3 counters, so it could just make it 4/6. You know, let's go for it. Then pass the turn. Now we're gonna be very soft to single point removal. So far, our opponent isn't doing that, but our opponent is doing some. Now the reason I did this is our opponent is more likely to fabricate into servos. Actually, he could still decide then. Okay, gotta land. Tender Shoot Dry, it's gonna be a problem. So now he's gonna decide. He's probably gonna make a bunch of small tokens. Oh no, he didn't. Interesting. So he knows I can't. So I need to start finding ways up there. Okay. That's 1. Okay, not what I wanted to draw, but I'll take that. Unbridled growth on the plains. So I could just attack with the Marionette Master. Basically try to see if I can force a trade with the Angel of Invention. Probably not, so I'm going to actually lose next turn if I have no outs for this. So there is that. As you can see, playing with just Kaladesh block alone, we are in a bit of a disadvantage. Oh. This is also a good way to demonstrate that different sets have different synergies with each other, so there's no real reason to limit yourself. So let's see what we got here. Well, we're definitely ending this run at this point, but couldn't be worse. It's annoying that this Tender Shoot drives a 5/5. I have no way through it. And the Saprolings are gonna be 4/4. Oh yeah, 1 + 2 + 2 + 1 + 1. Could be a 6/6. Oh, it's gonna be a 6/6. He's keeping the. Let's see what we get. More land. And a decommission. Yeah, we gain 3 life out of it, but that's about it. So don't die just yet. Let's see, let's see how it goes. I'm not gonna die just. I won't die just yet, but it's still bad for me. Actually, I could just pass the turn. Yeah, it's still telling me about stuff. That's the probably one issue with it. Okay, let's turn that off now. Okay, he's gonna give me a little. So definitely. Could I have gained life? No, it's just opponent loses life, so that wouldn't have done much. Yep. Okay, and opponent makes yet another sap. And yeah, that's it. I drew into all lands. So that's it. That's the end of this run. That's not too shabby per se, though. Not perfect also. So yep. Opponent's gonna go for the Alpha Strike. So that is pretty much all the things that we're going to kind of miss from Kaladesh. I didn't show vehicles because that one kind of carried over to everything else. There was Interspire Harvester from the first one, but all in all, well, reasonable. We did make it. Okay, let's see what these mythics are. Oh, look. I remember this card. Let's take a look at this one. Destined to lead. Let's see. Planeswalker? Oh, it's a shame that this... Oh, I would have liked to put this in my mono white deck. Actually, I would have also put that in the green white kittens deck, but I'm already done with that series. So, well, that's it for this. Sorry, I paused by accident. So there you go. That's it for this episode of the Magic Arena Run, and that's pretty much it for all the things we kind of forgotten about Kaladesh because it was full of cards that were more broken. Okay, we all still remembered Fatal Push. But anyway, that's it for this episode. If you like what you see, please don't forget to like and subscribe. Next week we might actually maybe next episode I might start working on the Amonkhet stuff. Let's do a retrospective on that. Eventually we need to start looking at all the goodies we're gonna get from Guilds of Ravnica. And maybe I might do a little more limited while we're still waiting. So anyway, that's pretty much it for this run. Thank you very much for watching. Hope to see you guys again next time.